Hello. Hey man, how you doing? Okay. Yeah, let me give you a call back real quick, and then I will let you know. Hey, still good for that? All right, one for one. All right, we'll send it through. Howdy, folks, and welcome back into a new season. And before we even get started, we have a trade to announce. We have sent the services of Bobby Dahlbeck to the Seattle Mariners, his hometown team, who needed a third baseman. We did not need Bobby anymore. He was the first trade I made. Now I'm trading him back out. We're going to receive Andrew Bash, a right-handed reliever, guy with some filthy stuff. He's already older. We'll see if he pans out. He could be depth for us, but they needed the position. We kind of had a surplus in the position, and actually we're trying to look to clear up some space to give way to guys like Warming Burnable, to give way to guys like Sterling Thompson, all of that jazz. So yeah, that's how we're going to start off our spring training. And then as always, we are going to talk about our prospects. So on our prospect list, we have about 7 top 100 overall prospects, with multiple in the top 5 in the top 50, mostly all starting pitchers. Guys like Bobby White, guys like J.J. Rose, guys like our 2 new draftees, Rafael Parra and Bud Leonard, and the rest. And without further ado, here is our top 15 prospects heading in to season number 4. All right, this is season number 3. First up on our list, we're going to start at the very bottom. It is Max Wagner, third baseman we got from the Tyler O'Neill trade last season. Again, we have that surplus at third base. That's why we got rid of Dahlbeck. He's a guy that he could be a fringe MLBer. We'll see what he does. 2026, we have him for an ETA, so he could potentially be up this year, but I doubt he actually will be. Leland Metzger is going to come in at number 14 on our list. 21 years old, center fielder for us, fast, and that's why we got him. He has that one skill. He is incredibly quick, to say the least. He can be a guy that also fringe MLBer. Fernando Benitez, a left-hander, 20 years old. We can see him in the next year or two. He's a guy that we had on our board in our the first draft we did in 2024. I ended up getting him, I believe, in the Josh Bell trade from the Mariners. So that's a guy that we had our eye on for a little bit. Took kind of a little ways to get there. He's a left-handed pitcher, but with all of these pitchers at the top of the board, as you can see, he could be an MLB contributor, but again, that's could not be for us. He could be an MLB contributor for somebody else, but we have him in our system. We're kind of working on him, and so forth. For the 35th straight year, Warming Burnable is on our list, third baseman. You know what he does: contact over power, very good fielder, can play around the infield a little bit. But with Sterling Thompson, now we have Max Wagner moving Nolan Jones over to third base. That doesn't have to be 100% official. I mean, we still love Nolan in the outfield because he has the speed and the athleticism, obviously the arm to do it. So if someone doesn't pop out, maybe that third base becomes a little more viable for these guys. But right now, kind of a blockage there. Christian Nam comes in at number 11 on our list. A guy who's going to be still some years away. 2029, they have him as the ETA. Made the Rising Stars game a season ago. And, a guy with some power, some pop in the outfield. We'll see how long we have. We only have him for a couple more years before we add him to the 40-man. If he's not ready, I'm not going to. He's a guy that maybe could be traded if kind of his clock runs out with us, but we'll see. Tyrone Gehringer, a first baseman. Contact. That's what he does. He gets hits, man. They're not all going to go over the fence. Not much of them are going to go over the fence, truth be told. But he's a guy that we are really, 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 really looking forward to. I think that we're going to put him in Double-A to begin the year and really start that clock. He sat in He was in high A, low A last year. Did well. We think he can adjust to the pitching, and we'll see. I mean, only time will tell. Benny Montgomery, an up and down year in his first 2 years. His year one, he made it all the way to AAA. You thought, okay, maybe he could be the fourth outfielder out of camp. Actually, I believe had a pretty good spring training. We decided, all right, we're going to roll with our guys that we kind of like a little bit more, and he did not do well. Actually, he ended up back in AA. So Montgomery, 23 years old, again, speed and fielding. He can hit the ball a little bit, especially against lefties. A guy that could push for that fourth outfielder job, but we'll have to see. Now we're looking into MLB starter territory, guys. We think could be starters for us. Ralphie Velasquez, incredible season last year. We're really looking forward to what he can do. Just 20 years old as well, and if he can just add to what he did a season ago, he could be pushing Drew Romo for the job. So it's going to be definitely interesting. Sterling Thompson finally got his year last year. Was okay, but we're going to start him up here in big league camp. He's going to have a chance to potentially earn that corner outfield job, potentially earn some playing time. We really like what we see from him in his bat. Can field obviously pretty well, but he's the top position player prospect for us at 24 years old. And from here on out, we're going into pitching. Alexis Marin, a guy we drafted last year, left-hander, 21 years old, 2029 his ETA is. We have some guys who are going to be probably a couple of years out, but could really, really flash for us. Marin, good lefty. We also have J.J. Rose, so we have 2 pretty high-quality left-handed prospects and 4 pretty high-quality right-handed prospects here. And Marin just starts us off. Alex Hardesty, you know him, you love him. Throws gas. 23 years old. He could probably be up next year potentially, but we're gonna let him have another chance at the minor leagues. We liked what he saw in spurts, but overall his numbers weren't fantastic, so we'd love to see him just have another year. J.J. Rose, kind of the same thing. The strikeout numbers were there. Left-handed pitcher, and I really love J.J. I really do see him in our future plans, no matter what. Again, strikeout potential is there. It's high. It's great. It's good. He missed bats consistently in AA last year. We're going to give him another crack at it, see if he can develop some further. Bobby White will be breaking camp with us. Does not mean he is going to be starting the year with us. Again, just 19 years old. After drafting Leonard and Parra and seeing a year of Bobby White, Bobby drops down to number 3 on our list. But he's a guy that is going to have every opportunity to compete and win a job here for us in year number 3. 2026 is going to be a big year for our pitchers. And again, we're not going to rush Bobby. If he's not doing well in spring training, then he's not going to make the team. We have all the hope that he can be up this year, as this year is his ETA. But if that's after the All-Star break, if that's into August, September, he did really, 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 really well in AA last year, so we're hoping that carries over. Rafael Parra, the right-handed pitcher, 21 years old. We drafted him last year, and after his stint in rookie ball, we were blown the fuck away. Second-round pick, I believe, for us last year. Actually, third pick, I believe, for us last year. But he's a guy that he's been shooting up MLB boards. He's been shooting up prospect lists. He's a top 5 prospect. How much people love him, what he did, and kind of a hidden gem for us, and I am so excited. And finally, rounding off that list, Bud Leonard. He's a guy we drafted last year at number 2 overall. Alexi Escobedo went ahead of him, but Bud Leonard, by all measures, looks like the better prospect. So, kind of glad we didn't get the number 1 overall pick. We would have picked Escobedo, but we kind of got gifted Bud Leonard, and he's going to be awesome. He could push for a start this year, but we're most likely looking in next year for him. Only a couple cuts in the first wave of free agency of spring training. Ethan Hankins, Darius Vines, and Kyle Daughtris were the guys. But here is what we are looking for. Here are going to be the storylines of spring. We have position battle in the outfield yet again. 3 spots, 5 players. Obviously, we have Trent Grisham, who's going to get a spot. Teoscar Hernandez probably going to get a spot. Brenton Doyle is definitely going to get a spot. He's the one guy that we have locked in there. What do Veen and Beck do? Those are the two guys looking for those extra spots. Obviously, Montgomery's in the mix as well. Sterling Thompson potentially could play the corners and also third base to give us versatility. So, again, outfield is going to be a hot topic all spring. Does Bobby White make the team is another big one. Again, we're not going to rush him, but we obviously need some pitching help. Does he come out and make this roster? Yes or no? Let me know what you think should happen with Bobby after you see the spring. But that's what we have for kind of the big battles right now. In spring, just 5 wins so far. We go to the next round of roster cuts. Joe Rock, Victor Vodnik, and Dan Cope, the catcher, are going to be the casualties here. So far, not a whole bunch being cut. So that just means that these battles are going to go deep into the spring, which you love to see. So outfield still yet to be determined. We're kind of working down our rotation, which we kind of obviously have 5 or 6 guys in mind already. And the bullpen, as we've added some guys, they're going to those lower guys are going to get kicked out, and Dan Cope, we kind of already decided that Guyver and Romo are going to be our catchers. So that is what we got going right now. We end spring 12-19 on the season. Got a couple wins towards the end once we put our regular starters in. And let's check out the spring statistics here. And these are the guys who made it through the first 2 rounds of cuts. Obviously, if you got cut before, you did not have a great spring, so we don't have to go over. Here's who had good springs. We had very good springs from Teoscar, Dale Amador, and Benny Montgomery. They had notables. Jordan Beck just is not going to make the opening day roster. I'll tell you right there. He did not have a good spring. Really kind of just squandering that opportunity. He was okay at the end of last season, but still nothing to really write home about. And unfortunately, he is not going to make this team. Other notables of spring, it was very tough to cut down those bench spots. We kind of went back and forth about who is going to make it onto the bench. We have, Kevin Smith, a guy with versatility and good defense. Obviously, the outfield we've been talking about all the time. And obviously, Chris Bryant being there kind of just bogs everything down. On the pitching side, the pitchers were okay. Dollander got lit up a little bit, and Bobby White just isn't ready. He's not going to make the team. And the final cuts are as follows. Bobby White, Michael Toglia, Sterling Thompson, Warming Burnable, Sean Bouchard, Yoelqui Cespedes, who was also in that outfield mix, Jordan Beck, and Benny Montgomery. So that means the lineup is going to look a little bit something like this. Grisham and Teoscar is going to win the outfield battles with Brenton Doyle, and on the bench, it's going to be McIver, Smith, Bryant, and Zach Veen. All the other things were kind of already set in stone. Stroman, Citatella, Bubic, Dollander, Sanchez are going to be our starters in the rotation, with Ryan Feltner being that 6th starter we like, but he's going to be in the bullpen. Justin Lawrence will start off as our closer. That will do it. Arizona in Japan coming up soon. Season's going to open very, very soon. I'm excited about this rendition of the Rockies. I hope you are too. Again, season starts pretty soon. Go Rockies.